Local Works meeting, November 13th, 2012, 3 to 4 p.m.
Great.
So any comments? Or that's supposed to go, how about the approval of the meeting minutes?
Actually, we adopt the agenda first.
Oh, we adopt the agenda, okay.
I would like to amend the agenda to allow me to read a small statement when we talk about the website.
Okay.
I make a motion for that.
Second.
Second, okay, thanks. And then we vote to approve
Approve the minutes from last meeting.
Should we go to adopt the agenda?
Any opposed? Okay. So.
Good old Robert.
That's right. Rules of order.
Okay, so how about the approval of last minutes? Last meeting minutes.
Approve to accept the minutes.
I'll second.
All right, so we can get on to the survey.
Yeah.
On my folder.
That's what I was going to say. So as I recall, we were up to, print out, physical printout, but up to the end of the large section, which was
11.
Okay, can I just recap that basically what were the goals of this survey and what we were hoping to get results from, so that we keep that in mind as we're going forward. Basically, we're trying to find out where locals are shopping, what they're buying, and how much they're spending, in order to determine what the planning department and local works, maybe the EDAC or other groups, need to do to increase the local spending that's occurring within the city. So, just because it's been a while since we've done the survey.
okay. I will get the particulars of what you just said off the.
And where did we leave off? Because I think that was, on my exit time.
We left off at entertainment 12. Question 13, I think.
Okay.
After question 12. Just a question 11 was the big long one about indicating how you'd see the following types of businesses grow in Easthampton. And then 12 was rate the frequency at which you stop at the following stores and locations.
Yep.
Okay.
12,
Okay.
we did the art walk.
This isn't the latest one.
Probably
I
not.
must not have the latest one.
This one is,
Do you want me to print some copies from the latest version?
Yeah, would you?
Okay, how many do we need? 1, 2,
Just 2.
3.
3. Okay.
Real quick while he's gone, share with me again what he said the goals were.
Oh, it's on your sticky notes.
where are locals shopping?
Where are people shopping, what are they buying, and how much?
Okay.
How much they're spending?
People shop.
Okay.
Where local people shop, how much they're spending.
Your shop must be doing pretty well this time of year.
And what was the third? Where they shop, how much they're spending.
What are they buying?
Okay. Okay.
Ben, it's your mother.
He's not here right now. Benjamin!
You haven't called me.
You're called.
So this is the art section, 13? Is that right?
Yes, that starts the art part.
Can I just make a quick note on the agenda making?
Yeah.
Is that I always have to leave at 3:45 So if we have any old or new business that involves Channel 5, you just might want to keep that in mind, because if it falls toward the end of the meeting, I'm on my way to Hadley.
Okay. Do we have something there that's at the end now?
Just the Part C, so depending on how quickly we move through,
Oh, yeah, okay.
you know, I mean, I imagine the survey discussion usually eats up quite a month.
Maybe next time,
We're almost done with the survey.
yeah.
But
Maybe next time, if we don't get to it today, can we put Channel 5 at the beginning of new, wait, why is that, that's old business.
Because we brought it up last time.
Oh, yeah, because of old business, yeah. No, I was saying, why was it, I had done an error in my notes here. I had new business twice. Okay, so present are Denise Riggs is not, Eric Snyder is not.
Oh, also, just since we're backing up and waiting, I just wanted to let everybody know that we videotaped a lecture, the Cole lecture at UMass. It was hyper-localism, or it was entitled something like that, local economy. So that's available via the Channel 5 website to watch.
Great.
Ben sent a memo out to all of us local works folks.
Good. That was quick. Okay, so now it's basically on page 4, question 13.
So, I thought that we should combine 13, 14, and 15 with the 11. We can fit these questions into 11 and 12.
Okay.
Or at the minimum, to follow that same format and group them together. I think there are some logical places where they combine with the previous
Okay.
sections, and then that would help to make the survey that much shorter.
Do we want to check with Diane to see how she feels about it?
Denise.
Denise? Sorry. Sorry, Denise.
I would say yes, because they were put in specifically to track Art Walk and Cultural Council stuff, or ECA plus stuff. So,
Well, at the minimum, I think we could combine them into their own section to mirror the same formatting
That's a good idea.
as
Yes,
11
yes.
through 11 and 12.
Okay.
with the 1 through 5 rating.
Yeah, basically to change 13 to read something like, how often do you attend cultural
Right.
performances in Easthampton? And then it's theater, 1 through 5, dance, 1 through 5, movie, 1 through 5,
that's a
music.
good idea.
Yeah.
And then the same with 14, how often have you attended Art Walk Easthampton in the past year? And then we may be able to like significantly shorten these.
Okay. So in terms of the, I can do that. In terms of the pieces that are there, theater, dance, movie, and music and other, are we fine with that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think the cultural ECA kind of vetted these.
What I may do is actually put Art Walk East Hampton as one of the things that, how often do you attend, ... So then 14 would be part of 13. That still gives them the ability to track Art Walk East Hampton.
Right.
Okay.
Right, and that's so it really just groups these all together.
Okay.
So you can combine 13 and 14. And 15.
Actually, you know what? I think I won't, because question...
A and B are all related
Right, they're all
specifically to
related.
Art
So I think
Walk.
I'll keep that as it is. What I would do, though, I could just put the beginning of it in the same format, just for look and feel.
Well, A and B we could leave after, but then move maybe 15 with 13 and 14, and then have the A, B, and C after.
It does seem a little bit redundant, but
Because I mean, basically, we look at the real estate of how much Art Walk's taking up versus the other parts of it. And I mean, I personally think that where we can combine them makes sense. So, I mean, again, we can check with Denise to see if she minds, or
You know, actually, it doesn't seem that lengthy to me.
I mean,
And people will breeze through these quickly, I think. And I'd rather not spend a lot of extra time, because if we do change these a lot, then we need to come back and readdress it 2 weeks from now. I think I'd like to get this one put to bed. So I would tend to say, let's leave things the way Denise had them, so in the interest of time. And I don't, we're really, you know, because if we do combine one with the other, then we're lengthening the question before it. So we wouldn't really get that much bang for our buck in terms of shortening things. And we would be lengthening the amount of time until we get this one finished, and increasing the amount of meetings that we talk about it. So I would almost like to say, let's leave the ones that pertain to ECA Plus alone for now.
I guess my like, we can consider ECA Plus a specific type of local store. You know, we're asking the same types of questions that we're asking about Biggies, or, you know, how much money do you spend? Do you go shopping there? What are you buying?
Yeah.
And so
There are more questions about ECA Plus than there are about Big E, though. And ECA Plus is one of our not sponsors, but what's the word I'm looking for? Partners, yeah.
Right. So I mean, that's why we're giving them a lot more
Yeah.
options. But I guess
I mean, I think it's gonna be, if you don't ever buy art, you're just gonna skip those questions, because it's gonna
Yeah.
be irrelevant. But if you attend an art walk,
Yeah.
but you don't buy anything, then you're skipping all that. So really,
I agree.
you know, and if we design a Survey Monkey around it, you could just, like, if you check no, those questions are grayed out, because
That's
no
true.
data necessary.
Yeah. I say leave them.
I mean, I think maybe you could rework it a tiny bit, just to, it seems a little redundant.
I mean, I'm happy to take a crack at it and move it around and try to fit it into where I think they make sense, and we don't have to spend time as a group doing it.
Okay. After you do that, will you then send it to Denise and get her
Sure.
input? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So can we move on to question 16?
Mm-hmm.
And these were authored primarily by you? Okay. So do you shop online, yes or no? If it's no, you skip to the end.
Again, I thought we could combine this with 12 or 11.
You know what, I
Set
think
the
that's
online.
that's a different and enough question. 12 and 11 are pertaining to specific locations, to specific entities within town. This doesn't. So I think this should be its own
Well,
section.
I mean, you could have one at the bottom of 12 that just says online, and then with never to multiple times a month.
That would combine.
And then that would get rid of 16, the question of yes or no, and it would get rid of 17, which is how often. And then we could come back. We could come back and say 18, which is what do you do when? What are you buying?
Well, those should be with that question though, because they're pertaining to online. I mean, we could put it at the end of 11.
Yeah.
Okay. But here again, I think we're taking something that, for all intents and purposes, is pretty good. And we're spending a lot more time on it. It's delaying when we're going to get this thing done.
I mean, this is what we're discussing today, right?
Well, yeah,
So-
but for us to change it now, we'd have to come back to it next week.
But it's not, I mean, it's not ready as it is, right?
I think it pretty much is.
We need to give it as a draft to the planner, right?
Right.
Jessica.
I think it's valid to add online to question 12.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's valid, and
then maybe move
I
the
mean,
rest of the
17
questions
is a
right
part of
after.
question
after that.
12.
Okay. So let's move this whole section to be a tag on question 12. Do you want to take a crack at that since you're already manipulating?
Sure.
Okay.
And again, then you can put, for those who check no, that section's grayed out. They don't need to, you know, of course, I think
Yeah.
everybody does online shopping at one point or another, but.
So then to move 17 to 12 and then add 18 and 19 to immediately follow it? Or
I think so.
Yeah.
18 to be part of it?
18, 19, and 20.
20.
And that actually kind of does make some sense, because then if you go from arts, then you go to the arts.
And then you go to the
from
arts, yeah. So
to-
let's do
Actually, that's cool.
retail.
Yeah, okay.
It feels a little more cohesive.
Okay. So,
And then from art, then you're going into local events.
Yep.
So,
Right, so that, yeah, that does make more sense.
And just out of curiosity, was there any particular reason why we chose these 6 things for the events?
4 through 6.
Well,
At
like the
21.
rag shag. I'm just curious as to why the rag shag, but not the holiday
The holiday
stroll, or. I mean,
those were new additions, right?
yes,
Last week, yeah.
There's
So-
no purchasing that really happens during that, but.
Right, well, that's not part of the purchasing. That's kind of, well, see, those
Well, it is, but it isn't, so.
Okay. That's what.
You know, farmer's market is an event, but it's a commerce-based event. Art walk is an event, hopefully it's a commerce-based. Then the rest of them, the last 3 are not.
I thought the idea of this last question was to gauge whether or not people know of these things, and also to inform them that these things are going on if they didn't know about
Like
them.
a promotional thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So that the farmer's market makes sense, the art walk makes sense, the summer weekly concert series makes sense. And I guess from what you're saying, the rag shag is just sort of, it's an event, but it doesn't have that local purchasing
Well, and then the fishing derby as
and the
well.
fishing derby. That we could list a lot of events that,
Right.
I mean, and what other ones do we have?
Well, like the holiday stroll.
Holiday stroll is a big one.
Is that something we want to add?
I just think if you have the rag shag and just have
Right.
the holiday stroll in, that's an easy add.
Well, so right now we have 5.
6, right? Oh no, 5,
5.
yeah.
So is adding, it's either 3, it's either the first 3 or the 6 with the holiday stroll.
And what about Big Rig Day?
I mean, I guess these are,
I guess we could go on and on.
Big rig day?
Yeah.
What's that?
They have all the fire trucks and different trucks on the...
You would answer no.
I don't, how deep we want to go into these events?
I really thought that the purpose of this was just to gauge whether or not
They knew.
I don't think we have to get really that deep into it. I think we probably should have Big Rig Day, if we have the rag shag. I remember Big Rig Day had been talked about. I don't know why it's not there. So,
Big rig day.
yeah.
I guess they're just, at what point do we lose effectiveness of making a promotion? How many, do we have before people don't remember what they just were supposed to get out of it?
I don't know that really
We're like,
applies to a certain degree. I mean, once you start going through these questions from someone who takes a lot of surveys, because my daughter's in a charter school, I mean, it's just like 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1,
Right.
so I don't just particularly think that the difference of listing 5 community events versus 8 community events is really, after it's the last question, I mean, if they've got through it this far, they're gonna,
Well, I guess the farmer's market occurs every Friday in the summer, in the warm weather. The art walks occur every Saturday. The
Right.
weekly concert series in the summer occurs, I think it's like every Wednesday or something.
Art walk is every Saturday?
Every other.
Every other,
But
yeah.
every
Second Saturday of every.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so once a month.
But like these are recurrent. Whereas, so you could theoretically put some of these on your calendar
Yeah.
Yeah,
now
right, okay.
and start going to them. Whereas like a Halloween thing isn't going to be on your calendar until next year.
Okay, how does that
Steve,
relate to whether
yeah.
it's in the survey or not?
It's just about how effective the message is of promoting these things.
I don't think we're trying to promote them. I think we're trying to gauge how many people know about them and attend them.
what the participation level is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if we need to target that more in terms of advertising or getting the
These are-
word
but these
out.
But these are some of the things we'll learn by asking this question, whether or not we need to advertise them more. Okay.
Well, I mean, they're pretty, the Rag Shag is barely advertised.
Right.
I mean, the Holiday Stroll is barely
But
advertised.
so if a lot of people know about it, then maybe we'll think, well, how are those getting?
And maybe there's opportunities to leverage these events.
Maybe, yeah, but I don't think we really need to decide that now. I think what we're trying to do now is just to learn.
All right. So Holiday Stroll, Big Rig Day. Is there anything else we should look into adding?
No, I know of. I think everyone knows the fireworks now. Okay.
Right.
I mean, should we?
Or a firework, I mean, why
4th of July.
not? Put
Sure.
it,
Do summer fireworks. They don't call 4th of July fireworks because they're not on the 4th of July.
which is big, yeah.
So can we discuss the timetable of what we do with this now? Like
Yeah, I think probably after next meeting. I hate to wait until next meeting, but we're not supposed to do any business not in the meeting. So I think after you do the manipulations, Ben,
So
after you do the manipulations, then run it by Denise, and if she's fine with the way the ECA plus questions are worded, then bring it to the next meeting, and we all vote next meeting. Let's pass this on to the next step of giving it to Jessica.
can I add a couple things? I start at the beginning again.
No. We're past that.
To basically, I didn't think 7 and 8 were really effective questions. And I thought we should either get rid of them or move them to the end. Because when you start to, for people to try to figure out how much of their budget is spent on, like, it's kind of,
That's true. Actually,
Yeah, it's awkward, they are awkward, but,
I would
I
spend a
mean,
lot of time on that, and be
but it's
unhappy doing so.
but it's at the beginning of the survey, so I feel like it would dissuade people from continuing. Right where you get to this kind of difficult question, like how much do I spend on this, and then maybe the next question is
Okay.
basically the same. So
Yeah.
if we move it to the end, then it may get skipped because it's at the end. But
That's true. Okay. You want me to list the end?
yeah,
I mean, essentially what you want to know is of everything that you spend, how much of it do you buy in Easthampton?
Right.
You know,
And we're just trying to find out.
find a different way to say it.
I mean that's sort of what we are getting at in number 12.
Right. So what we-
How much you shop there.
Oh, you know what? That's true. It's just kind of redundant.
Do we really need it then?
I say let's can them.
Just get rid of 7 and 8
Yeah.
entirely. Great.
I'm for that, it's just too complex.
Matt, what do you think?
People
That's
don't
good.
think in those terms either.
Move on.
Okay.
I think it'd take me too much time to figure that out myself.
Well, and it's also operating on the assumption that some of us, everyone has a budget.
Anything else?
And then number 9 and 10, again, I thought we should just move later into the survey after the online stuff.
It's a good idea.
Yep.
But now that we're moving the online stuff forward,
We'll just put it right after where the
So,
online is going to be, right
Yeah.
before the arts.
right.
Okay.
And then so then basically we just get some very quick demographic information and then jump right into question 11.
Great. Okay?
That makes more sense.
Good.
Thank
So
you, sir.
I'll rework that. Can you send me a file, or is it only on Google Docs?
I think we've made changes to it, so I think if you just download from Google Docs.
Okay,
To
yeah.
a spreadsheet,
Yeah.
you'll have it.
Great.
Okay.
Just other things about the survey before this came up. Do we want to think about giving an incentive for completing the survey?
Like what?
Like coupons, gift certificate,
To where?
good idea.
the possibility to win
I
something.
think that's a good idea. If you fill
I
this
mean, we
out,
can figure out where or what or how.
win a television or something like that.
I think an entry is good, but, I mean, I think a gift certificate is, who pays for that?
How about a prize? If we know that, get
Well, I
somebody
mean, we
to
may
donate a
be
prize.
able to get, there may be a local business who wants to donate a prize. There, with we do have a budget, a small budget.
I think you should, something to spice it up.
So, I mean, just to put it on the radar for things to think about.
Either, I would say that let's either make the completion of the survey and entry into a raffle that has a prize, or do something like free cup of coffee. We can get people to donate.
Well, I was thinking like like your completed entry is
Automatically enters you.
yeah, it automatically
Yeah.
enters you to win a $100 gift certificate for whatever.
I think that's a good idea.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Good, okay, so let's keep those and.
As long as it's a simple, then
Yeah,
plan
that's
your
a good
emails
excitement.
registered.
People, you never know, we could get,
Yeah, that I thought that might help to get people to spread it around or
exactly,
to.
put it on Facebook, maybe it's a free trip to Florida.
The other thing,
I mean, it's,
Yeah.
we do have a budget, half the fiscal year's over, we haven't used much of it. So we may want to look into getting this published in the summit.
Good, okay.
And if we get it published in the summit, then it goes to every household in Easthampton, combined with an incentive for filling it out. We may actually get a very decent response rate.
good idea.
Good, okay.
It's cheaper than mailing it,
Mailing it versus
mailing a paper copy.
than doing it in the summit. Yeah.
I mean, were we gonna do a Survey Monkey
I think so.
too?
Well, we can do a Survey Monkey as well. I don't think many people will complete it multiple times.
Yeah.
No, not for entry. Plus they'd have to have a different email, right?
Right.
So,
Okay,
Right.
can we continue?
So, yeah.
So that's it. So once we get,
That's it.
so we won't be able to submit it to Jessica until the following meeting.
Well, I think after next meeting, we can submit it to her. I think next meeting, we should have a goal of saying, let's look at it final time, decide upon it, and give it to Jessica.
What if after Denise gives her approval for those questions, if Ben was to informally give it to her, so that by the time we have the next meeting, he can say, she took a look at it, and we think it looks good, then we're,
Yeah, because substantively, the only thing we'll be changing is what we
some
agreed
of the
on
format.
today.
Yeah.
And then,
I think that
Yeah.
we should do that, move ahead with it.
I agree.
run it by Denise. And we'll see if we can get it by the next meeting.
Okay.
right, I mean, can't Jessica look at it now, minus the art questions? Once it's
I'd like to have
reformatted?
her look at it. She'd probably prefer to look at it once.
Okay,
Yeah. I want to get it to the point where we,
okay, that's fine.
She's busy, I don't want to waste her, not waste, but I don't use
Really,
it.
the planning?
All right, so we move on to discuss local works website.
Yeah.
Josh, you wanted to?
I wanted to, I don't know, each of you have seen it or not, but Kathy did send out an email pertaining to a conversation that Matt and I had with James Arvis, and I wanted just to read a little statement. I wrote it out so I could be clear. Please allow me to address the group and have it be on record that I feel very strongly about the situation raised in an email sent to all of you a very short time ago by Kathy Lynch, one of our committee members, concerning the past local works chair, James Arvis. As we discussed in our last meeting, the committee decided that Matt and I would approach James to discuss the feasibility of transferring the localworks.biz website over to an environment we felt would be most feasible for us as a group to use. As we have discussed before, the option that Matt and I were leaning towards is one that can be used by all members and one that will encourage input and interaction from other members in our community. As we understood, were we to stay with James hosting the website, it would be up to one or two of us to go through a training process to help to be able to manipulate the website, and the maintenance and all input to that site would have to go through whomever had gone through the training process. It was my original intent to leave the situation at that and not enter into the dynamics of the conversation we had with James, as I felt that was not germane to the discussion of the website. But since an email has been sent to the rest of the group, I feel it is my duty to clarify matters. Truth be told, even though we approached the subject professionally and with courtesy, James was unfortunately offended at our request. Those of you who know me understand that James and I have been friends in the past and that I am not the type of person to take other people's feelings lightly. But no matter how we tried to keep things on a business level, it was clear that James was not happy. And the truth, however, is that we did our best to keep things level-headed right up to the point where James hung up on us. I have been racking my brain to figure out a way to smooth the waters, but it has been made clear to me after last week's call and this afternoon's email that minds have been made up. Please ask that we put the situation behind us now and concentrate on our tasks at hand. The suggestions that Matt and I have made were offered with the best interest in mind for Local Works and for our community. Okay. And I think we should move on.
That's fine, yeah, I mean, we do need to move on, I just, I think I made myself clear in the email.
Yep, thank you. Okay. So let's talk about this. I have been going over a lot of websites that use the, I'm drawing a blank now.
The WordPress.
WordPress, yeah, WordPress. And talking to other people just besides Matt. It is a very robust platform, and a lot of things, whereas it was first started out as a blog site, it's so much more varied than that now. And so I think it really is a good option for us. The other reason that I'm pushing for this is because if James was still part of the group, I would be much more likely to entertain it, because I knew that we would have someone here on hand that was close to it. Since he's not, and that's fine, I wanted to make sure that the people who were in this now, we had at least one or two people that could take ownership. And so that's why I'm pushing for us to do that. As it is right now, what steps do we need to take? We need to establish a server.
Right, well, I have a hosting company that I think is a very, very high quality company. It's called Host Monster. It's very reasonable.
How much is that?
It starts at $5 a month. It's unlimited. It's very quality. I have an account with them. It's a little bit more robust than that, but very good technology, very reliable, US-based, 24-hour call-in, talk to a US-based tech support kind of thing. So all we would need to do, and James had agreed to, if we want to use the localworks.biz name, one suggestion I was thinking was maybe we just change it to localworkseasthampton.com.
Or you mean, didn't you guys go through all that though, what was available?
Yeah, with Local Works. We didn't do it with Local Works East Hampton. I
want to keep it short? Is that?
I like keeping it short, and localworks.biz has been out there for a while, even though it's been out there ugly. I think
we just need to get him to transfer it over to us. So if we open a hosting account, he can transfer the domain to us.
Okay.
He agreed to do that. Is that
Great.
correct?
What's the deal with having, I've seen this with some websites where they have multiple email addresses and they redirect. It's like silly.
Yeah, we'll have unlimited email addresses and forwarders.
No, I mean like, you can go to windows.com or windows.org and it'll link to like Microsoft.
You can do that too, redirects.
Is that just a redirect?
Yeah.
So if we wanted to change the website from localworks.biz to localworkseasthampton.org,
Could do that.
Yeah, you can do
we just
that.
have a redirect from biz to .org
Yep.
and leave that up for a while.
I mean, it's really like, just really a matter of how much time you want to spend, you know, if someone wants to sit down for half an hour and find out, you know, what domains are available, what domains are not available, you know, do
I mean, the
that.
thing about .biz is kind of obscure. You know, not, people don't remember that. If you say, go to our website, check it out, it's localworks.biz, they're gonna get home, type in localworks.com, who knows what they're gonna get. Whereas if you said, it's localwork, I think .com is it's the most common one. So if we said it's localworkseasthampton.com, people are gonna remember that. It's
Or
localworks.
.org, people remember.
Yeah,
the-
Are those two available?
Can you check?
I know .com is.
How do I check?
.org.
If I
If you just type localworkseasthampton.org,
Oh, if it's taken.
if it's taken, it'll bring you to someone else's website.
Yeah.
I mean, it really should be a .org if we can manage .org.
It'd be nice to be at a .org, I think.
Why is that?
Because we're a city.
Because it's a non-profit.
Is Easthampton.org, is that the
Yeah.
space?
Yeah.
I mean, Easthampton could be at .gov, but
Easthampton.org does not take me anywhere.
do we want to try to get it?
We could. Yeah.
No, we'd have to purchase the domain, which is what, like $50?
That's $12.
$12?
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah, we have it in the budget.
Self-employed.
The easiest way to do things in the budget right now are going to be to reimburse people. If anyone's already in the system with the what's it called? If anyone's been reimbursed before.
I can tell you what you have to do.
Yeah.
You will have to make your purchase, have your invoice, and then also retain the copy of your bank or credit card statement showing that you've paid for that. And then you can submit it to the city for reimbursement if you're doing it electronically. You have to absolutely have the bank statement highlighted with the transaction.
Okay.
This one I drop a permit off?
Do you want to do that?
Sure.
Okay.
So that will be changing the domain name then from, we
I mean,
can,
we have a quorum here. I think that's something that should be voted on.
yeah.
I like the idea of Local Works Easthampton, even though I kind of hate typing Easthampton and everything, the whole thing out, but it does make sense because it's not Local Works of everything, it's not,
I mean, the city's website is what, City of Easthampton?
no, it's easthampton.org.
Easthampton.org.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I make a motion that we purchase the domain name localworkseasthampton.org.
Second.
Okay. Any opposed? Okay.
Okay.
localworkseasthampton.org.
Can you do it right there?
Should be able to.
Slick.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you also have to do, sometimes if you put it out there that you're searching for something, you never know if through the internet somebody else might see that you're searching for that and then buy it.
That's why I want to make sure that this video, after we...
Hey, I have an idea. I say we stop this now quickly since it's 3:41 and talk a little bit about Channel 5 airtime. Does anyone have an objection to that?
Nope.
Okay,
You're leaving in a few minutes? Okay.
you're on.
Yeah.
Any questions versus what I presented last time?
I think it's a great idea.
I think it's excellent. And there'll be something that we could advertise on the website.
Yes, you know what, actually, I think we can advertise on our website, although I do have to do a little bit of research about what the parameters are. But I think actually we can do shameless advertising on the website. We cannot do that on the airwaves at all. We can do underwriting sponsorship and name drop. But, you know, for example, if the Local Works Committee was producing a series of 6 videos of business spotlights, as long as it's informational, then I can see something like, let's pretend they're 30 seconds long, just randomly. The Local Works logo, and then maybe whatever we choose to call it, if it's a spotlight, and then those titles go in, somebody talks about what they do here. It could be also spun in a way that's like charitable activities of any particular
Is there
business.
a way to come up with like a list of things, like we could give a business a sheet of paper that says, here's what you can talk about, the work that you do, how you benefit the community, but you can't mention any specific sales that are going on. You
Yes.
can't sell products.
Yes, we can do that, but I think that what I would like is for the group to sort of decide what it is, what the direction is that we want to go, because it's the group that would sort of be endorsing this kind of a project. So I would like the group to come to some consensus as to what would be offered through that kind of a program that we would then partner with Channel 5 to produce. Does that make sense?
But there is a preliminary list of like, because you take public funds, what we can and cannot
It's
have.
because we're non-commercial television, but,
Right.
so you cannot advertise on non-commercial television, and generally it's the PBS guidelines.
So is that something that you could
That
get,
is something that,
you
yes.
could get for us?
Yes.
So we can like start,
Yes.
at least start from there to then go and
Yes.
narrow it down, or?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
I know that you can't specifically say, half price tomorrow,
right.
so it's prices, but yes. But I think that in the meantime, we can also talk about, are we going to talk about services? Are we going to talk about some kind of public service? Like if Matt's agency wanted to promote their business on Channel 5 airtime, they could say, here's an insurer's guide checklist that you want to think about. Local Works, Law Insurance Agency, here's, so that it should be geared more toward, I think, that anything goes on the air, geared more toward some kind of public service, information, and then just by the association promotes your own business.
So is this something where we're asking a business to come up with a PSA for something that their business does?
Something like that, yeah. That's public service oriented.
Okay. That's great.
And it doesn't have to be, like the Greater Public. Mary Ann could tell us when dance shoes are really too small for you, or so it doesn't have to be some kind of like greater good,
Right,
something
right.
specific.
But
to
that is
industry.
that is a PSA.
Yes.
It's like,
yes, that's a service announcement. Yeah.
yeah.
That is also promotes your business. It's just not technically advertising.
Right.
It's
So
more
so
of
so
an
you're learning
informational.
you're learning something of informational value, and at the same time
It's
you're
being brought
getting
to you by-
Right.
that
Yeah.
information is being brought to you by someone who happens to sell the product
Right.
that they
Yeah.
are.
Right.
We can also do
But they're not saying, I'm selling shoes for $19.99 on Wednesday, you get 30% off.
Right.
That's no bueno.
We can also do like some for Local Works.
You could, yes, we could. We could absolutely be producing videos, short little videos about local works, and they can be littered all over Channel 5 airtime. In particular, before and after government meetings, we could be doing all kinds of stuff.
Great. Okay.
So,
So
I think it's great.
that's a super easy way, And maybe for next time or the time after, people could bring some ideas for those kinds of things, or maybe a list of 5 businesses that you can see this working for.
Okay.
And I think it's a really good way to expand our membership too, or our support base for Local Works. So,
do you think you can bring that list
I will
of?
send it to you. Some of it needs to be, some of it is policy that needs to be fine-tuned by our board, so I'm sort of bound by that. But if we were having a meeting on Monday, and I'll bring it up, and we need to jump on that and define those parameters.
Yeah, just so that way we know.
Guideline, right?
Yeah,
Guidelines,
absolutely. I'll get it to you. I'll get it to you next week
Or
before the next
send it
meeting.
to everyone.
Yep. Well, I get it to you. You get.
I can
you
distribute it. Yeah.
Okay. Wish me luck on that.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. You know what's hasn't been on the agenda, but I'm not sure we're done with, is the logo.
We
Where do we stand with it?
we voted to accept the final draft that I had done. I then made a second version of it that didn't have Easthampton across, or it removed some of the writing because there was something about different sizes where we might not want it to have all the writing. I forget exactly, but I did that. They're sitting on my computer. I can distribute them to the group so
Would you
everyone has them.
Distribute it again, and
Or-
I should get artwork so I can get new decals.
Okay.
Or we should talk in the next meeting about decals.
Get the artwork for the website.
Yeah, and
Put that up there.
that too, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll distribute the logos.
Okay.
I'll also I had saved them as PNGs, which are lossless. They're not JPEGs. They don't like pixelate when you compress and uncompress. But I can also send out the original Illustrator files if
Okay.
that would be helpful, or if they're not helpful, I'll just send it out in a couple different formats of.
Okay. Well, I think we'll send it out as like just one simple one that everyone can see, and then when it comes time to need actual artwork, then we'll come back.
Okay, so I'll do that, and I'll just send it as a PNGs.
Denise isn't here to discuss the cultural subcommittee.
And I
so-
got an email from
Yeah.
her saying, it said, "Good morning, Josh. Thanks for your email. I will know more updates after the cultural district meeting this afternoon," which coincides with local works meeting. Burns attended an MCC workshop, which is Massachusetts
Cultural
Council, workshop for established cultural districts last week, and we'll report on that experience this afternoon. So,
They're meeting right now.
yeah.
I know that they had a walk with the representative from the Mass Cultural Council a few weeks ago, and there were changes to the delineations of the districts that the Cultural Council representative was making. And so the whole process, they were going to apply for this year's cutoff, but the whole process got delayed,
Forward a bit.
pushed back, or
Back, yeah.
forward, delayed.
With that big grant for Eastworks and the, is that going to possibly change their idea to put that in the district, or?
Yeah, I think that was part of it, is that basically the district should be walkable, and the district should feel like a district, that you basically should be able to see from, one side to the other of the district.
Yeah.
And that we had this long linear district that basically it wasn't clear where the district went and how you got from the, so they basically said, we don't have one district, we have 3 districts. And that we should concentrate on getting one district up before we do the others. But that was just their suggestion. I don't know how the Cultural Council, the Easthampton Cultural Council has, and they're probably doing that now as we speak.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we continue that the next, when is the next meeting here?
November 27th, 2012,
At 3 p.m. in this conference room.
2 weeks from today. Aujourd'hui.
And I have run into a little bit of a snag. My friend was a little too overwhelmed at the last time, so I'm trying to figure out plan B, C, and D.
Okay.
I will keep you guys posted. I'm overwhelmed, so I know how she feels.
Okay.
The fruit of the lions.
Well, thank you for coming today.
I guess that's it then. Should we adjourn?
Yeah, let's adjourn.
All right.
Okay.
Adjourn.